Welcome back to Hannity, and here is the final part of our exclusive interview with Rush Limbaugh. You're a student of history. You're a student of politics. You live, eat, and breathe this. Have you ever seen deep state leaks about one a day? The Democrats hate the president. Republicans are weak, and many of them, as you point out, I think they want him to fail. And you got this never-Trumper crowd. And then the media, all aligned against him. Ever seen it this bad?
Never. Never have. People say that Nixon was the object of hatred and derision, and he was. But I have never seen, Trump is really exposing the people that do run or think they run this country, and they are scared to death, and they're angry. They feel betrayed by the election. And what they're demonstrating is they are perfectly willing to get rid of Trump any way they can and overturn the results of an election simply because they don't like it. What do you think the Mueller investigation is? It's a prelude to finding a crime or a misdemeanor that might be impeachable or creating a process crime. You know, I get funny about the Mueller investigation. What I hear, they can't find a crime. There wasn't a crime to start with, as there should have been. What they're finding is crimes on the Democrat side that they're trying to sweep aside. Hillary and the rigged primary against crazy Bernie. That would be, and never forget, folks, Trump runs the Department of Justice right now. And so nothing's over until Trump does something with it. So chin up about that.
Yeah, but I've never seen, look at the powerful tools of intelligence, which we need to keep the country safe. Then you got surveillance, you got unmasking, you don't have minimization. Then look at the case of General Flynn, leaking intelligence, a violation of the Espionage Act, a leak a day the president has.
Right.
That I've never seen that in my life.
No, but what happens when everything's been politicized? Intelligence is politicized, no matter what they want to tell us. There's not a thing that the left doesn't try to take control of or influence that does not become politicized. And when that happens, it becomes corrupted. Liberalism corrupts. And the intelligence community, look at what they're doing. They're actually now using whatever, making things up, like the Trump dossier, whatever they can do to force the president out of office or to dwindle support among his voters and supporters. And I just think it's corruption on display, and most of it is coming from big government liberal types. But beyond it also, the establishment itself, I know that's a word that's thrown around, but it is the people that run the country, and you don't know them. We don't know who the leader is. They're not elected. Elected members are part of it, but they're not the power base. The elected people are told what to do. They're given the money and the donations and so forth. All this is being exposed, I think.
You said about the president in a speech at the UN, never before has anybody ever spoken this way to the UN. It's never happened by an American president. You got North Korea, I think a real threat. This guy's nuts. You got Iran. The Iranian deal will probably be there in 5 or 10 years, dealing with the same issues of radical mullahs armed with nuclear weapons and ICBMs. Peace through strength. You believe it. I believe it. How do you view his foreign policy?
I think the foreign policy is like most everything else he's doing. I like it because it's unique, it's different, and it's commonsensical. I laughed myself silly. I saw a news story that this little pot-bellied dictator, Kim Jong-un, is so confused by what Trump's saying that he's calling Americans in Washington to help them understand. What's Trump saying? You keep it up and you're not going to exist. You keep it up and you're going to regret it. So this guy calls, what does he mean? What does he mean? And the people he's calling don't know how to analyze Trump either. Trump is a foreign object to these people. Politics is, in one way, so phony. It's the art of not saying what you really mean. Trump comes along, says what he means, and then doubles down on it. And that's why people around the country are cheering and standing up. He talks the way they do, not in diplo speak or political speak. And he just gets in, gets it, and gets out. And all of that is intimidating, I think, and all of it because it upsets the natural order things, the way politics is talked about in community, and foreign policy especially. I love it when I think about all these people. State Department Trump says to the North Korean guy, you keep it up and you don't exist. Shivering. this is the way people talk to each other. And the guy apparently has gotten the message. If he's calling here trying to figure out what Trump means, it means he's got the message. Does he really mean what? Yes, he does in this case.
I think he does. I've worked in the media, and I honestly feel, at least on cable TV, I'm like an island unto myself right now. Me and some of my colleagues at Fox. Radio, you're more popular than ever with all the means and devices people can listen to now. You watch media. You've turned over to CNN. You've turned over to MSNBC. The president has taken them on, and I watch it, and it's Rush. They never talk about the forgotten men and women and people in poverty on food stamps that need jobs, what the election in my mind was about. It's Russia, 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 conspiracies, outright lies, calling the president a lie. If you said on your radio show half of what is said daily about then President Obama, the whole left wing in the country would have tried to fire you.
Right, and it would have been front page above the fold for a week, two in a row.
Years.
This is a good point. The media isn't media. What do you think of media? You think of media, they're got people out there looking at things where you're not, and they tell you what happened. That's the news. They don't do the news. There is no news. There is the advancement of the Democrat Party agenda, which is get rid of Trump. They're totally devoted to it. The media has been corrupt by liberalism. Sean, I don't watch CNN, MSNBC. Used to for show prep. I've banned all content from MSNBC on my show. Why promote that garbage? It just makes me mad. I don't watch it. My life is actually, mood-wise, attitude-wise, huge increase for the better by turning off left-wing so-called news at night. I decided to pay people to watch.
I'm on at 9 now. I hope you'll watch occasionally.
No, I turn on Fox. That's the point. But they're not news. Yeah. They're media. They're agents of, and not just the Democrat Party. I think the media is the force and the power of the left. And the Democrat Party is just an arm of it now. The media is running the agenda and promoting it.
My last question. You're going to hate this question. So I'm giving you the heads up. You're not going to like this question. Your TV show was a big hit. When you come on TV, people want to hear from you. Now, you have the highest rated nationally syndicated radio show in the country. Huge audiences. Now people can listen all sorts of ways. I think people would like to see you on TV. Maybe an hour a week. Would you ever? See, I told you you'd hate it.
There's something going on. Everybody is telling me. I had a couple of callers this week.
Yeah.
Did they call you and you tell them to call me?
No, other people. I'm here as an emissary for Fox.
You need to be on TV.
1 hour a week.
1 hour.
Maybe 2.
Well, I'll give you the short answer. I'm totally satisfied with radio. I'm so blessed. I every day pinch myself over the great things the American people have made possible for me by being in the audience. My TV show was collaborate. I don't collaborate. I don't know how you do your radio show, but I never have one meeting. I don't have to tell anybody what I'm going to do beforehand. Television, you have to have 3 hours of meetings for a 22-minute show. You have to put everything in order, floor manager, stage manager.
Rush, we just changed. I don't have meetings. I have one phone call that lasts 20 minutes. That's it.
And what happens in that phone call? You tell them what you're going to do, and 100%. They put it in order, or do they tell you what they want you to do?
With all due respect to my producers, I'm telling them where we're going.
Okay.
And by the way, they have a good idea.
Do you have to stick with it once it's there?
No, we change it up to the last second.
You've got improbability.
Oh, absolutely.
Well done.
Absolutely. Is that a sign of hope?
Well done.
I told you wouldn't like the question, but I do know you. I think people would love it.
You flatter me. You really do. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
I really do.
Listen, I know you don't do a lot of interviews. Thank you for being on.
No,
love your success. The country's learned a lot from you over the years. And as a radio guy, you paved the path. I have not had as many slings and arrows because you paved a pretty wide path. And you had to take all of those early on. I remember when you went out there, I remember the Pat Sajak fill-in.
Yeah.
I remember
the audience. Yeah.
You got hit hard, and you never stopped, and you kept pushing through, and it's made it easier for guys like me.
Thank you very much. But it's grown. It's amazing how it's grown. That's why we're winning everywhere except in Washington. We're winning. The Democrats can't win an election.
I know.
They're losing elections. They've lost over 1,000 seats. This is so frustrating. We got an opportunity that we're never going to have.
3 months.
All it would take.
That's all it would take.
3 months past the agenda.
McConnell's the worst, Rush. He can't. How do you not get 50 votes on health care after 7.5 years?
You got to find out who actually influences him that doesn't want them.